Before we begin with the course Web 2.0 Tools for Educators, let's start with the basic and let's talk about what are Web 2.0 tools. What is Web 2.0? Web 2.0 is a term that was first introduced in 2004 and refers to the second stage of development. When the internet was first introduced, we had static websites. Now we have web pages that have user-generated content, and it also refers to the explosion of social media such as Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. What does that mean? To me, it means that the Web 2.0 is not the end-all be-all of technology, but rather is a series of tools that educators can use to transition from a teacher-lectured-centered classroom to a more student-engaged-centered environment. Students can use Web 2.0 tools to create their own videos, to create their own presentations. It's mobile, and there is also social components. Alright, so now you have an idea what 2.0 is. So what does that mean? You could do a Google search, and you could come up with hundreds of different applications and websites that are out there. Let's narrow it down a little bit. Let's start with how we want the students utilizing the technology. So first we're going to look at technology integration in the classroom. How do I integrate technology into my classroom? First, every teacher needs to remember that showing a video is not technology integration. Technology integration is when the students have the technology in their hands and they are using the technology to enhance and transform their learning. There are several different models and theories out there. I use the SAMR model for technology integration created by Dr. Ruben Putintera. Basically, it is not 4 stages. You're not trying to start in substitution and then work your way to augmentation, to modification, to redefinition. Different activities that your students do in the classroom may fall under substitution. Some of them may fall under modification. I'm going to go into a little bit more explanation of the 4 different areas. Substitution is when the technology enhances a task with no improvement and functionality. An example would be students using a word processor or Google Docs to type up a paper and then print it out rather than writing the paper by hand and then submitting it to the teacher. Augmentation is when the technology acts as a direct tool substitution with functional improvement. Going back to the example of the essay, the student using Google Docs can also use an online dictionary, thesaurus. They can also share their essay with the teacher to get feedback rather than having to wait to print it off and submitting it prior to feedback. Modification is when the technology allows for significant task redesign. An example would be QR codes. Students having a mobile device can walk around the classroom, scan a QR code, watch a video, read an article, or even answer questions. They are working at their own pace. They can go back and revisit certain QR codes if they have questions about the content. Redefinition is technology that creates tasks that would be inconceivable without the technology. Students can create, write, and then publish or share their creations with the entire world. An example would be Edmodo, where students can have a classroom discussion outside the confines of the 4 walls of their classroom. Where do I start? A good place for resources on technology and on the SAMR model is Kathy Schrock's webpage. In this course, all of the Web 2.0 tools that we look at will be web-based and they are free. The first will be presentation. Prezi and Powtoon allows teachers and students to get away from PowerPoints. Wordle allows students and teachers to create word clouds, and some more. You can create flyers that you can publish. Then we will look at formative assessment, how websites such as Kahoot and Quizzes can give the teachers and students immediate feedback on questions based on their content. Edpuzzle is a website which allows teachers to incorporate videos and then have questions throughout the video on the students on the content. And Nearpod, which is a presentation piece which includes video, text, and where teachers can ask the students to answer questions on the content. The third area that we're going to look at this course will directly address communication. We are going to look at two different websites for that. We will look at Edmodo, where the teacher and the students can communicate, have class discussions outside the four walls of the classroom. And we also will look at Padlet, where students and teachers can share thoughts and ideas on a topic of their choice.